Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and we've got the latest on Epstein, Andrew, the guards, and all the developments surrounding them. And there are some pretty big new ones, especially with what Bill Barr has to say on the matter. It's almost laughable, it's almost jokeable. But before we get there, I want to remind everybody I do this on my own, so thumbs this video up out of the gates, share it with others if you want a real take, and subscribe to the Burmis Brigade if you are new to the channel. Now, MCC prison guard willing to dish on Epstein's death, cooperate with IG probe. So what that tells me is these guys have probably been set up. They probably were not given a choice in the matter. I very much doubt that they were said, hey, this is going to go smooth. I don't think these two guards who fell asleep on the job are really guilty of being given a choice. In other words, I don't think they're part of this criminal enterprise that the head of the prison system in a judiciary hearing talked about. And by the way, I'm going to do a follow-up video on this. The two videos I did do on it, I know they were out of sync. I hope that we have fixed the problems. I hope YouTube's fixed the problems. So far, so good in the first minute of this broadcast. But think about it. They didn't take the plea deal, right? And then they got arrested. And now one of them wants to cooperate with the federal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's death, even though she's been accused of goofing off while he hanged himself, her lawyer said Wednesday. So one of these is a woman, it appears. Tova Noel did not make any efforts to frustrate the government's investigation following Epstein's jailhouse suicide, defense lawyer Jason Foy said in a statement. In fact, Ms. Noel remains available to fully and truthfully cooperate with the Inspector General's investigation, which is also geared towards uncovering the many problems that existed from the commencement of her employment and which continue to plague the MCC. Here's the deal. All of this, including that hearing I just showed you, focuses on what? Boy, we really messed up. We're understaffed. Meanwhile, if you actually listen to that hearing, there were only 2 suicides in the last year. One of them, quote unquote, supposedly being Epstein. Looks like we may have just dropped a frame right there. God damn it. Oh, that makes me so upset. So, there you go. And meanwhile, remember the cameras that malfunctioned. But now the cameras that we have in the hallway says nobody else was there. And Bill Barr said it was a perfect storm of screw-ups. Listen, I hate to tell everybody out there that think Barr is some kind of hero because he's fighting on behalf of Trump against the obvious lies of Russiagate and Ukraine. No, he's not. He's covering this up. Listen, they should have the tapes from the entire time he was there, really. He wasn't there at all. Think about it. We're still talking about suicide watch and suicide when his brother has now gone on the record and said the first time he supposedly committed suicide or tried to commit suicide, he was attacked by his cellmate. That's now been said by Baden, who was the coroner who was hired by Mark Epstein, and Mark Epstein himself on the record. Why is the media ignoring this? That changes the game on everything, right? So again, they're pushing towards this negligence. And believe me, they're going to try to make these guards as scapegoats. They don't want real cooperation. They don't want to know what really happened. 3 breaks in that neck. Baden, in 50 years, says he's never seen 3 breaks in a suicide. Never. And even 2 breaks would have been awfully suspicious. Okay? So, again, I can understand people who immediately, whose minds went to sort of the worst case scenario because it was a perfect storm of screw-ups. Okay? Give me a break. Barr is lying to you. If you believe that they have no idea what happened and that this wasn't a setup from the beginning and that they didn't cover up the first attack and make it look like a suicide attempt, which is unbelievable to me, that more people aren't picking up on that aspect of it, well, you're really just not paying attention, okay? So let's move on from the guards and Barr and the tapes and the setup and the nonsense to Prince Andrew, okay? So everybody's saying now he needs to contact U.S. investigators, okay? the pressure's on Andrew because he is so high profile in the United Kingdom, and they have shielded him for a very long time. I believe they will continue to shield him as he goes behind the scenes. Remember, all of his public duties are now over. But most people don't know what those public duties are, at least in the United States, but one of them was being the United Kingdom's arms dealer. Okay? Remember, a lot of these things, charitable fronts, all this PR is just PR. That's what it's there for. Now, here's a new person alleging that they were sexually abused as a teenager. The reason I put that in there is because it's 17 years old, also in the Telegraph. You got to check that out. This is Tiela Davies, okay? And she said she was trafficked New York, New Mexico, Florida, and the Virgin Islands, okay? So you can check that out. If you see the headline there, you can just Google it or just top it in. Now, they're also publishing more of these photographs that they did, and it looks like this guy was followed. They actually have a full timeline of his stay in 2010. You know, remember, this is where the pictures of Woody Allen, these are all after the fact. This is all, everybody knew what Epstein was after this, okay? So the Daily Mail actually has a very, very nice timeline right here of everybody who popped in, okay? Take a look. There it is. And I thought that the brunette had been, one of them had been identified. But let's see, so let's continue. I mean, you keep going, and this is a day in the life of that Epstein house. A lot of pretty women going in and out. And I realize you might say, well, they don't look like underage girls. Who knows how long they've been involved in that organization? Or, you know, and again, this is an international trafficking organization. This goes overseas. This is in France. This is in the UK. So now with media like this, and the Daily Mail, hey man, you can call them what they want, but this is a pretty extensive piece. And remember, they're the ones that helped break this story and the Giuffre Roberts story back in the day. In fact, with those 2,000 pages that are out, a lot of their articles are put into evidence. So we all know this, but it's more than likely that Prince Andrew may have been captured by secret cameras at Epstein's sex mansion. And whether that be the Florida mansion, the Virgin Islands, or now we know the New York island or New York mansion. And remember, Maria Farmer alleges that through those pinhole cameras in the bedrooms and bathrooms in the New York mansion, that there were people manned watching them all the time. Think about that. That means there were people physically watching the abuse of kids and archiving it. That is a criminal enterprise. But we're worried about the criminal enterprise that took out Epstein, or didn't really take out Epstein, but allowed Epstein to kill himself. You know, that's part of the investigation, apparently. And like I said, we're going to go back. We're going to do more of that. We're going to definitely replay the Ben Sass stuff. We're going to play the John Kennedy stuff. And there's a couple other people that I think Horian and a couple others did weigh in. So Prince Charles advised Queen she must sack Prince Andrew to save monarchy. That's what the big story is, that Charles wants him out. You know, Charles is now the good son. They're not good, neither of them. They might ban him from Beatrice's wedding after Epstein scandal fallout. Here's the funny thing, Princess Beatrice, okay? She's the daughter of Queen Beatrix, who was the wife of Prince Bernard of the Netherlands. She then became the Queen of the Netherlands. This is that inbred royalty that I can't believe exists in 2019, ruled by bloodline society, the technopoly run by the robber baron class, the predator class that's been around for centuries. It's really disturbing. All right? So here's the deal. When I said Queen Beatrix and I said Prince Bernard, they were steering members, and Prince Bernard was one of the founding members of the Bilderberg Group. In fact, Prince Bernard only really had to step out of light when he got caught via the Bilderberg Group in an arms deal scandal with Lockheed Martin. Okay? Think about all these arms deals we keep talking about. Epstein apparently worked with Khashoggi. What was Khashoggi? He was an arms dealer. He facilitated those trades. And Prince Andrew, after the fact in that interview, one of the reasons all this fallout is there, he said no. At the very end, he said he still would have had to cross paths with Epstein. He still would have had to do business with him. Why do you think that is? All right? So Queen Beatrix goes on after Prince Bernard is out to attend these meetings. And it shows you, man, the power structure at the end of the day with people like Queen Elizabeth and Queen Beatrix, et cetera, they don't really care about sex. A lot of people always push that idea, but when you look at the upper echelons of power, it's royal bloodlines all the way, man. That's what it is. We can have different cultures, like the Saudi Arabian royal bloodlines are dominated by men, but think about it. That Anglo-American power structure, well, who's it really been run by? So they actually kicked Andrew out of Buckingham Palace. I kind of found this funny. Think about that. All these allegations have been for a long time. And now almost a decade after all this stuff becomes public and his name becomes a household name after the, Epstein didn't kill himself meme goes wild, right? He gets booted from the palace. They're still going to protect this guy. I promise you. Even though, and again, this seems to be legal. I don't think that this person is mentioned to be underage. But a new maid is saying that Andrew was given a beautiful young neurosurgeon who would give him medications that would make him horny. Herbal tea. You can't make this stuff up. But that's how these people live, okay? And at the end of the day, people are calling for him to come to the U.S. to face the probe. Don't count on it. And even if he does, it will be worked out that the entire thing will be whitewashed and he'll be going home, flying back to the UK right afterwards. There's no chance this guy's going to go do any prison time. That's not how the system works, guys. All right? This is a full-on cover-up at this point. Believe it. The FBI officially sent in their cleanup team. And Barr, I'm sorry for all you people that think Bill's a hero. All right? But he's saying, that the video footage shows nobody went into his hall that night. It's all Epstein. Let's scapegoat two guards, even though one's willing to talk and they didn't take the plea deal. I don't know why they would have taken the plea deal. Again, it looks like their hand was forced to do whatever they said. Think about it one more time. Mark Epstein, his brother, has now gone on the record saying that Jeffrey told him he did not try to kill himself the first time and he was attacked by his cellmate. Yet he was still put on suicide watch. Mark Epstein fears for his life. And again, I'm not here to say Mark Epstein's some kind of saint. I'm here to tell you that El Chapo didn't have any problems on suicide watch, did he? When we want to make an example of somebody, when we have a high-profile prisoner, it's fine. 2 suicides all year. 1 year. In the last year, 2. One of them being Epstein's. So really 1 suicide. That's how unoften that can occur. And especially where he was. So let's be honest about it, guys. We're getting full-on cover-up right now. We'll see where this goes. We still don't have Ghislaine Maxwell. We still don't have those 4 people, the co-conspirators arrested, that the Express reported on. So, we're going to keep up on the entire situation, obviously. That's what we do here. We do deep dives. I think today maybe I'll do a Black Book AMA. I know I've promised that, but I don't have the kids till 3:30, so I'll be able to kick out a couple more videos before I have to watch children. Definitely going to have to walk the dog. Guys, thumbs this video up. Share it with others. Thank you, Jesse, for the super chat. Why is Maxwell not arrested, and what % chance would you give Epstein is still alive? Listen, I'm going to say it again. A lot of people are going to hate on me for this. By the way, Jesse, thank you so much for the super chat. All right. I'm now going to reveal, this was one of what I believe Michael Baden's assistants. I got hit up by, before, everybody was named, I got hit up by my buddy, who's in the film industry. He's actually a big assistant director, huge movies at this point, but somebody who's an old roommate of mine. And he's in my fraternity. We're good friends. We don't see each other as much as we like, but we go back and forth on DMs. And he told me that, somebody he went to high school with. Let's leave it at that. He's known for well over, I believe it's 2 decades. It might have been college, but again, I want to say at least a decade, maybe 15 years. Hit him up immediately after that autopsy and said, who I believe Baden to be her boss, that he thought he was murdered straight. So I think he's dead. I don't think there's a chance that this guy's not alive. Think about it. If he was alive, why would the first one have been botched the way it was? Why would he tell his brother, that he got beaten up, assaulted by his roommate. How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. He's too much of a liability, period. That's how I feel about it. A lot of people hate me for it. I know a lot of people still think he got extracted and is alive, but I think we got to have some real discernment here. And it would have been even more to cover it up after the fact with a different body, et cetera, et cetera. That's how I feel about it, Jesse. All right, so all my documentary films, free here in the documentary section. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. Thumbs this video up, thumbs this video up, thumbs this video up, share it. And if you're new to the channel, now is the time to subscribe to the Burmist Brigade. Join the club. We're doing it 3 to 7 times a day, usually. I've had some real computer issues, if you haven't noticed lately, but I'm going to try to kick out the jams today, I promise you. And $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. It's how I do it. There is no Patreon. There is no Subscribe Star. There is no bonus content. I did get approved for memberships here, so I'm trying to work out exactly what I'm going to do with that. I want to stay on this platform, but when my boys like Sam Tripoli and others are being taken off, you never know. You could wake up one morning and it's all gone. I've worked really hard to get to almost 40,000 subscribers. Thank you, Sunshine. I appreciate the super sticker. And again, if you want a perspective that's not about left or right, conservative or liberal, really horseshit, well, come on by. You can disagree with me all you like. We can have a civil conversation, but it's always been about right and wrong to me and will continue to be. I love you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.